So. Shit.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
So, what up? Like, what's the plan? You're going in the direction of Latia.
Yeah.
Do you have a pre-plan, or are you just gonna fucking wing it when you get there? Like, the time has come. You all have been talking about how you're gonna deal with this shit forever, for a month now, and now the moment has occurred. How you deal with this shit, yo?
That's a good question.
I know. That's why I asked it.
First thing we want to do is try and persuade her not to want the flower anymore, not to want to break free.
Well, good reasoning.
But when negotiations break down, are we just gonna fight her?
I think it's unlikely that will end well.
We're stepping into her domain.
Yeah,
Escape
an elder fae, with possible lair mechanics. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, we essentially need to convince her that she shouldn't kill you guys.
And if we're her guest, she can't exactly try to kill us first. We would have to be the ones to initiate the fight, right?
True, so if we can get her to offer us succor before we reveal that we're not going to help her.
I get the feeling I'm gonna have to give these.
Can I roll a history or religion check to see if that is just custom or if it's like an inviolable physical law of matter? Like, would she have some magical compulsion not to hurt us, or if there was a serious enough motive, would she be willing to break that custom?
Is the concept of hospitality hold a magical nature, or is it purely a word of law?
Yeah, is she required by magical compulsion to hold to it, or could she break it if she were willing to?
I feel that's an Arcana check.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not terrible for me.
Well, I mean, ultimately you're asking, is there some magical purpose towards the concept of hospitality?
Would Dalmor, like, daisies on his beard or whatever, are those actually magical or not?
Dalmor?
Yeah. Well, I mean the little flowers or whatever, because what if we actually got her a Dalor flower, but it just doesn't have any power in it?
She wants an Arctic rose. She specifically clarified that she needs an Arctic rose.
Oh, she clarified later.
Oh. In the original conversation.
She described it.
She described it, oriented it, the whole 9 yards. Like, she was very specific.
Man, I wish I had spent my nat 20 on something better.
You know for a fact that the concept of hospitality holds no magical bearing whatsoever.
Okay.
That this is something more ancient than magic itself. Maybe it did have a magical pull at some point, but as far and I'd actually say you go as far as to know that under certain circumstances, it is magical. In the case of like vampires and thresholds and things like that.
So maybe some of those old compulsions are still around.
And maybe that's where the legends come from. Mm-hmm. But there is more knowledge than I mean, numerous volumes where they've gone against the word. However, the word is everything.
So it's maybe not something she would break lightly, but it's something she could break.
She could break. Okay. But it would be the most heinous of crimes for a fae to truly...
Like in Greek mythology when that dude ends up eating his kid?
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Like a curse upon you and all of your spawn kind of crazy shit. Like,
okay.
But, I mean, that's implying that there's a magical thing from an outside being basically causing a repercussion from it. In the case of her, a god would basically have to do it because she's so ancient. Mm-hmm. But she is so ancient that only the most dire of situations would cause her to break her own rules. I mean, the concept of hospitality is
Sorry.
the honor alone is almost magical. But
Okay.
there's nothing binding to that concept.
Man, I'm at a point where I'm like, fuck it, just give her the rose.
Yeah.
Why is our whole
That would
party
be-
so okay with
I'm just
destroying
like-
the fucking world? I'm so confused by this.
I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, fuck it.
I'm
We don't
not
know
cool with
anything
that.
about
I
My
don't
life
get
is not
it.
worth so much that I'm willing to risk the world.
Well, you know, Venus is gonna
Slightly-
manage you guys.
We were slightly put out upon, so we will destroy the world.
Disappointed in all of you. You should feel ashamed. Shame. Shame.
I said
I
I'm
don't.
not
I
willing to
can't think
destroy
of
the world.
anything else that we
for my
can
own
do
life.
other than using
And-
the rose while
We can go
we're
talk to her.
while we're standing with Latia, using the rose to call down the other heaps. Like,
let's play out a little bit of this because maybe
I don't fucking
indications,
know.
some descriptions, some conversations will solidify opinions better for you guys, right? So you begin to approach it, and when you begin to approach, you guys start to just kind of almost feel something different about the forest. Like, nothing visually is different, but it's kind of that walk through a ghost feeling where like the temperature is just different, and it's still the sweltering heat of Mariani with the buzz of the bugs and all that, but your bones feel cold when you begin to enter this. And remember, you haven't walked into a room before. Someone brought you here last time.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And
There's
so
that.
you feel that, and when you look over, you see Dendi, and like it looks like she's walking through the Arctic, like her hands are clutched against her body tight. She's leaned over like she's gonna vomit, and she's like shaking, like visibly. Her entire body is trembling in a shiver about her
can
entire
I give her one of my wolf pelt from the first session wolf pelts?
that you
Winter
have-
clothes. Yeah, I made it into winter clothes.
Yeah,
Can I
totally.
try and
You could
figure out
totally
why
give
she's
her a
affected?
winter.
I'll give her a jacket.
And she super accepts them, and she like wraps herself up in these clothes,
Does it
and,
help?
and it doesn't change anything. This is to the core, and you guys feel this, but probably she's feeling this way harder than
Yeah, I
you.
want to figure out why. How can we figure out why it's hitting her so much harder?
Oh, she's connected with the forest.
Conversation, religion, arcana checks, medicine checks. Like I mean, you would have to do some rolls for that. You
Can
tell
I
me.
Arcana?
Arcana? Yeah, absolutely.
You could probably just ask her, like, hey,
Yeah, but it rolls
There's a
faster.
message.
y'all right?
When you roll high,
You
it
have
rolls
cancer.
faster.
You have cancer.
This has nothing to do with at least as far as you can understand, there's no magical reasoning unless someone casts a spell on her that she should feel cold.
Okay.
That there's something deeper to this. And maybe it's magic, but not within your realm.
Are you alright?
Look at the party and be like, alright, that's all I can do.
Maybe. I shouldn't. Never mind. No.
And she's just like, this shit sucks. And she's like, please tell me we're here. I don't know how further I could go. And she's like, even with this, and then she sits there and she like kind of thinks for a second, and she goes, hold on. And she shapeshifts into a dire wolf. And the moment that she kind of shrugs off the clothes that you give her, Kiro, and she turns into a straight up dire wolf.
Oh.
And then and the moment that she's in a dire wolf form, you see the entire direwolf is trembling. And you see her like look at you all, and then she shakes her head back and forth in her direwolf form.
Alright, so that's a no. That did not help.
So she is the only one feeling this, or everybody's feeling
You
this?
all feel this, but it seems like where like you
It's hitting
feel,
her harder.
You feel like you entered like sub 32 degrees Fahrenheit. She's going through negative degrees right now.
Right.
In a bikini is kind of like the depth
Ew.
of the cold that she's going through right now.
Cats
Like literally, like if it was a physical manifestation, she would be blue, like her skin would have been blue. But you guys know that there's something more to this. But
As far as I can tell, it ain't.
I will. You do not know that it is magic, but one of the other things I'll say, because you did roll really high on that, Steven, is you were here before. There were no issues about the cold. Like, you guys,
Oh, yes.
you went
it's
through
for
a
us
realm,
too.
you had no problems, everything was dandy. It was sunshine, rainbows, and beautiful plant creatures the whole way. I mean, it was a beautiful, wonderful, controlled environment. And the moment that you walked into this realm, getting near her home, it's like you walked into an ice field.
The fuck?
Does it look like diseased and nasty around us, or
Nothing that you can see.
so it still looks happy and
It
vibrant?
looks happy and vibrant and.
Do we see any?
and wonderful.
Do we?
However, I will say, it's important for me to say this. You have not yet reached the glade, like that open area where it's like sunshine and open grass that leads out to where her house is with a tree. You have not reached that.
So this is roughly where the direwolves were.
This is roughly where the Bagianic said, "I can no longer follow you."
So we're on the cusp of her
Okay.
real, yeah.
So basically, you're entering her realm.
The magic keep her in, probably, or something like that.
Do I see any wildlife or anything?
Perception check.
Who has the rose right now?
Perception or survival?
Ricochet.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ricochet's character. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She gave it to Ricochet. This perception check is to recognize that there are wildlife.
I see no wildlife.
You see none. Thorgil either. Nothing. Phoebus too. There's no, and especially the higher, because there's a 20 and a 24. There's no birds chirping, no crickets cricking, no animals running around in the forest. There's not even wind in the trees.
You mean to
It's-
tell me there's not a single
Yeah,
cricket
exactly.
cricking?
No crickets.
And it's hot. It's hot other than we feel cold. It's a perfectly normal forest.
It's a normal forest, other than the fact that you feel that your bones are freezing.